Hey man, welcome back to the third episode of the Trouble Next Door podcast, the safest place in the world to explore your intrusive thoughts and curiosities. I'm your host, Talik, and today, we got a little bit of a different episode going on here. As you can see, I'm not joined by my co-host for personal reasons, but we just gonna bring a different vibe today. We're gonna have a more intimate type of thing. Oh, I ain't indicating the mic. We're gonna have a more intimate type of thing, and we're gonna rock with it. So I wanted to start today's episode with two quotes of the day that I have. You feel me? We're just gonna dive into these a little bit, talk about them. So the first one I got says, "Motivation is what gets you started, and habit is what keeps you going." So with this one, I'll even change it a little bit. I feel like discipline is what keeps you going. Just being disciplined and rooted in whatever you want to do will all ultimately get you to your goal. You may have the inspiration. You may watch some YouTube videos, you may have some friends that hype you up, and you may feel like, okay, I can really do it. But unless you put forth the time and the effort to really go for it, it'll ultimately amount to nothing. I heard a quote earlier today when I was on Instagram. It said, "The grass isn't greener on the other side; it's greener where you water it." So everybody's shaking their head because y'all remember that. Okay, yeah. So basically, it's not necessarily the inspiration behind everything. It's more so how hard you work on it, the time and effort that you put into things that could really excel it to where it needs to be. You feel me? So, and our second quote is going to be that failure is not the opposite of success. It's a part of it. Okay. So this kind of ties into our first one, where it's more so like, as you work towards what you're going for, whatever your goal is in your dream, don't be scared to fail. I notice a lot of people have great ideas, like wonderful ideas, but the fear of failing keeps us from, becoming our greatest self. Some of us could be actors already. Some of us could be singers, entrepreneurs, dancers, but we have a fear of failing. We have a fear of not reaching our goal. We have a fear of people judging us, a fear of people not liking what we're doing. And so, I feel like the quote is basically just saying, there's going to be setbacks no matter what. There's going to be drawbacks. There's going to be negative energy. There's going to be negative comments. People are going to have negative things to say. The experience is not always going to be positive, but embrace that. Use that to leverage your positivity and to push you further. Like Nikki said, the haters are the motivators. So, just keep going with it. Let all of those comments and all of those things, those setbacks that you could look at as like, damn, now it's this, now it's that, problem this, problem that. Just use that as like, it's an opportunity to come at it from this angle. It's now a chance to do this, or now a chance to do that. So, I feel like you can just use all of those things, really. So, remember, what was the first one? 1, motivation is what gets you started. And discipline is what keeps you going. And 2, failure is a part of success. It is not the opposite. So embrace your failures and keep on going, man. So we're going to pivot here to the greater topic of this podcast. And it's a little, how can I say? It's a little trivial. It's how to start a podcast. I know, right? A podcast on how to start a podcast. Kind of cliche. But I feel like I can offer some knowledge as to, the things that I've learned. Now, I'm going to put a disclaimer in here. I didn't go to podcast college, and I don't have a degree in podcasting and certificates in podcasting. Like, I'm not some podcast guru, but I have learned some things through trial and error and experience that I feel like I can share with the viewers. And a lot of these things can also be like applied to other avenues and aspects, like starting YouTube or starting a business. Like, a lot of the tips I can offer are multifunctional. So I would say the very first step to anything is to set your intention, to know that this is what you want to do and this is what's going to happen. You shouldn't have any reserves about starting a podcast. You shouldn't have any drawbacks about it. You should want to do it because it's the trend. You should want to do it because someone suggested it to you. You said, oh, that's cool. You should actually genuinely want to do it. And like I said, this can be applied to other things, Actually genuinely have an interest in it. And that way, you'll better fight off the fatigue of, running out of ideas, or, it'll just keep you motivated, keep you going when you're making your content. Number 2, choose your format before, like, early on. It should be like, your second step. Choose your format. Now, podcasts can have a ton of different formattings. You can do similar to how I do, like with a video component, have like all these lights and setups, or you could just do like a podcast in your house. You can have a video podcast where you're online talking with people through like Zoom or those types of platforms, or you could just do like a solo podcast where it's just you, a camera, and a microphone, So I feel like early on you want to choose your format, and that way it'll better help you strategize your plan of attack when going into it. Number 3, this is like kind of one of the most important ones, so listen here. To choose and understand your target audience, right? So I guess that's kind of hypocritical of me because I don't necessarily have a target audience per se, but I feel like for most people starting, it would be a lot easier to get into podcasting if you already have an idea of what you want to go for. And typically you want to choose something that you have an interest in. Like, obviously, if you're a football player, don't talk about fashion or makeup, Talk about something that you can relate to. Not to say that you can't do those things, but it'll be a lot easier on you if it's something that you're genuinely interested in. And the reason why most people giving out these tips recommend that you choose a category or a niche to like get into is because the broader your spectrum, typically they say, the harder it is to pull an audience. If you're targeting a specific market, a specific genre, it will be more likely that those people will be attracted to your content. But, like I said, it's kind of hypocritical of me because we talk about a bunch of stuff over here. So it works though, okay? It works in its own way. But, just make sure you have a clear idea of exactly what you want to talk about on your podcast. Plain and simple, okay? Number 4. We on 4, right? 4 is to understand your budget. Understand and make a budget. So, as we all know, podcasting is not free. It can be. But that is a very rare thing that you'll get by with everything being free. So, just a list of things that I have here that go into a budget. Microphones, headphones, cameras, lights, your software, your pop filters, and just like, labor things like editing and someone to record it, audio engineers and whatnot. So if you are trying to do something more so on the personal side, like just you do everything, then you would have to, consider buying these things and, maintaining a budget for these things, because you don't want to be spending more on a podcast than you could potentially make from a podcast. If you're spending $700 an episode on a podcast and you can only make $300, then maybe you should consider some things and switch some things around. So definitely understand your budget. Now, there definitely is a way to like have lower cost, and that's to go through like certain platforms or certain avenues where you can get people, similar to what I do, get people to record it for you. Okay, that's very, very self-explanatory. Speaking of that, got an announcement to make, but we're gonna get to that. Also, software. If you're gonna do it yourself, you have to worry about software and learning software. And certain softwares are free, but based on the price point of a software is you basically pay for what you get. So like one I use is Audacity, and it's pretty much free, but I already have things in place and people that record my podcast for me. So when I go to Audacity, I'm not doing much on there except like transforming WAV files and whatnot. So, but these are just things you have to consider when maintaining a podcast. And like I said, these can be applied to everything. The first step, know what you want to do, choose a format, choose a plan of attack. That can be applied to maintaining a business, starting a podcast channel, starting a YouTube channel, starting a music career. Like, just know your avenue, know your lane. Understanding your target audience, that comes with anything that you want to do, and understanding your budget, no matter what it is. So then we go to hosting and distribution. Now, this is a big one right here, because I'm sure a lot of us don't just own hosting platforms that we can just put stuff on there and it just go out to the world. I'm sure a lot of us don't. So you would have to choose a hosting or / distribution company to push your podcast out. And these can range based on price and what they offer. Like me personally, I use Podbean, and they're pretty good with like pushing things out to certain platforms for a very low price, and they offer certain things such as ads and sponsorships, and just deals for their consumers to better incentivize them podcasting with them. Some more podcast platforms that you can host on are Buzzsprout, Speaker, or even SoundCloud. But again, it's kind of like you pay for what you get, so you have to really invest in your distribution. You have to understand which distributor can really get you where you need to be, because some people might not want ads. Some people might just want to cut the camera on and talk, So it's just really based off where you want to go with your podcast, and you have to do the research on the distributor and the hosting. All right? So this also ties into maximizing monetization. Now, like most people, I assume we want to get a little change up off this right here. So I would say, again, this goes back to the previous point of just understanding who you're hosting with, understanding what they offer, what they can give, and also just understanding what your podcast is and who will be attracted to it. That way you can try to reach out to sponsors or ads that kind of align with your podcast. Like, again, if you do a sports podcast, you may be able to get sponsors from like sports TV networks or people who are interested in sports, investors and whatnot like that. So maximizing monetization also comes with, just knowing your podcast and knowing what you're aiming for. So that's a very big one. Because like I said, we all want to make a little change here and there. I might add like some, I don't think I might add like some soothing music in the background of this. Just something like calming, like this, like a cool vibe today, just woosah. Back to the list though. Sorry, I just had to put that point in there. I would say marketing also goes into a podcast and sort of anything you do. If you're creating something for view, for the world, for people to see and consume and watch or whatever, you have to market it properly. And this again goes into knowing your audience. You have to put out things that draw their attention, put out things that make them want to click on the link, put out things that make them want to watch the entire episode or whatnot, put out things that make them interested, and that way your audience will grow. So, marketing can either make or break your podcast, and a lot of people don't know how to market specifically, which, I can help you with that if you need it. Just call on time. But no, marketing can definitely make or break your project. You just really have to understand the market that you're in and understand, what it takes to push something in that market, And I would say one of the most important, hands down important steps, if you don't listen to nothing else brought up in this podcast, one of the most important, I can't stress this enough, one of the most important steps is to just start. Okay, I feel like it's so easy, at least based off my experience, it's so easy to get caught up in what needs to be done and the nitty gritty of everything and how is this gonna run, who's gonna be on it, who's gonna be there, who's gonna pay for it, who's gonna mix it, and that can really set you back in planning. Now, I'm not saying don't have a plan, don't execute on the plan, just don't spend too much time planning, because you might look up and somebody didn't already stole your idea, or the topic that you want to talk about is no longer relevant, you feel me, because you spent so much time planning and trying to critique and make everything so perfect that you missed your opportunity window. So I feel like the most important thing is to start, whether you have a camera, whether you have 2 mics, 1 mic, whether you don't even know who's going to mix it. Just start and the rest will follow, And I really feel like all of these things together can make you a better business person, a better podcaster, YouTuber, music artist, or whatever you want to be, As long as you apply these steps, you can definitely just go for it. And consistency. Let me add that one in there. Consistency, okay? Because back to our quotes of today, consistency is going to be key, right? Like, things are going to happen. As you can see, I don't even have a co-host. Things are going to happen where it's going to be like, you can either let it stop you or you can let it push you, So I feel like consistency, as long as you follow those guidelines and you continue on the path that you set, no matter what happens, no matter who shows up, who doesn't, who listens, who doesn't, I think you'll ultimately reach wherever you need to be, you know. And that's really all I have to say about that. If you've ever seen Forrest Gump, you get that line. And yeah, that's pretty much it. How to start a podcast or a business or a career or anything you really want to do. I feel like those steps are pretty self-explanatory. And if you follow those, I mean, do what works for you. Not to the T, of course. This is not a guideline. It's not a course I'm selling. But use what works for you. Leave what doesn't. And I think you'll see the best results possible, you know. So, yeah. Oh. Seems we have a little bit more time here. I actually wanted to plug myself, if we're not mistaken, but we're gonna save that, right? We're gonna save. You think I should do it now? Okay. So I mentioned earlier I can help you with the whole marketing or whatever, right? So basically, what I've started is a media company called The Round Table Multimedia and Production. And basically, this is a company that specializes in alleviating the stress of marketing, production, and management from you, the entrepreneur or creator, whichever one you are, maybe both, and puts that creativity back in your hands and allows you to focus on your work and put forth your best effort in creating whatever it is you do. So, if you are interested in partnering with my company and helping propel your career, excel your business or brand, follow us on Instagram at TRT Multimedia, and we'll give you more information on how you can become a partner today. Topic coming up on this episode. So the topic is now what? Flued out.
Yeah, he was asking about like women getting flued out and you know what's supposed to be paid for. My thing is we're all grown, right? So at which point we're even making transactions like this, everything needs to be laid out up front.
Right.
So if y'all didn't talk about sex up front, then nobody should be expecting sex up front. But if you wanted sex up front, then you should have been making sure that you was buying a flight for somebody who you knew was going to bust down when they got off the plane.
Right. I feel like just because you spending all this money and all this, you know, you flew her out to the middle of nowhere, nobody gives a damn.
It doesn't mean that she's going to, but if that's what you wanted, you should have chose somebody who was already messing with you like that.
Yeah, you should have definitely laid the terms of agreement out, had a contract or something like. Yeah, for sure. Even if
it's not a contract, every time we talk, it's a contract. Every time we speak, it's a verbal agreement.
You know,
and it stands in the court of law.
A lot of people feel uncomfortable.
It doesn't matter what you don't agree with. It stands in the court of law. We had a verbal agreement. It stands in the court of law.
I mean,
I agree with you, but a lot of people
verbal agreement is different though, because niggas be lying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A lot of
I ain't never
people
say
don't agree
that.
with that.
Nigga, like, I ain't never say that.
No, it's a fact. People definitely will lie, but at the end of the day, when it comes down to situations like this where you're spending your money and people are wasting their time and we're now crossing state lines and people can be stuck in places, then it becomes both parties' responsibility to be adult enough to say what it is about how they're feeling, and that's on both parts. Women need to be grown enough to say, oh, I'm not going to just see if I can get a free trip out of him, and I'm going to let him know up front, hey, actually, just to let you know, if you were trying to take this past this level, I'm really not ready to do that. So if it's going to be a problem, then I'll be staying where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? But if we're going to be able to enjoy ourselves, then I'm on the way.
But who do you think started the flew out culture? Was it the women or the men? Because I know a lot of women who be like, if a nigga ain't flying me out, he can't even speak to me. You feel me?
I'm gonna say dudes probably.
Dudes, yeah, probably old creepy men.
I think the problem is that this is already how it goes. Like people try to act like, oh, it's such a bad thing for men to pay for coochie and this, that, and the third. But yeah, you're gonna pay for it anyway. Right? In some way, shape, or form, right? So this is always how it's been. The only problem is when you have people like city girls rapping about it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? That's
perpetuating like the.
It's not even about they're not glamorizing it. They're not glamorizing it. Please, like it's not. This is
really
nothing about I'm getting flued out and I'm finna get fucked and I'm finna get some money. That's glamorized to y'all.
Not to me.
No, because
Well,
to
that's
me, glamorized tricking was Marilyn Monroe showing up at the president's ball.
Yes.
Happy birthday to you. That's glamorized tricking at its finest. So
I mean,
the problem is
the perspective is fucked up.
Yeah.
And the
Once
narrative
you put
behind
it on a rap song, you now have to talk like you're grabbing your nuts, but you're not a man. So once you carry it with that tone, and now you're talking to a grown man with that tone, and you're expecting something from him, now you look crazy because you're not getting nothing from him. Saying you gotta pay for this. You were better off saying, "Hey, can you do this for me?"
Yeah, I feel like they always try to slap a price tag on everything. Like if he ain't,
but that's
if he ain't
understanding
giving
your
me
power and feminism. You know, I think.
well, yeah,
you gotta understand that. A lot of women
y'all
don't.
know niggas go trick for that.
Oh,
You know,
facts.
because a lot of niggas with money just corny, and they just not really good people. So it'd be hard for them to really.
Yeah, and they'll try to negotiate. They'll try to negotiate their way into it. I've seen it before.
Oh yeah, I'm
So,
sure.
What would you say about a situation where she gets flued out, she's over at his house, she has no intentions of sleeping with him, but she's walking around his house naked?
Is this the only thing that you came for show? I can't be funny. This comes down to intention and us being grown. Why are you walking around his house naked if you wasn't trying to?
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Because you walk around your house naked, that's fine if that's what you do. But if it's company over there, you gonna put clothes on, right?
Right.
So if you now in somebody else's house, that's a grown man that you're considering a platonic friend because you're not trying to have sex with him, right?
Right.
Why would you run around naked?
It's the mind games. They like to play mind games.
That's not mind game. That is how you end up in a situation where now you're saying me too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
In my personal opinion. And that is not to shame anybody who has been in those situations because every situation is different. But in a particular situation that you're naming, that's like waving a stake in front of a tiger.
Yeah, and expecting the tiger not to bite
We're
your
not
ass.
talking about we're at the pool and you just have on a bathing suit. You know what I'm
I'm talking
saying?
about, like,
This is a public environment.
Fully naked in my establishment.
We're not even talking about just we're at the club and you have on something scandalous. We're now at this point talking about you traveling to another state
Mm-hmm.
to spend somebody else's money,
Mm-hmm.
to tell him in his face that he's not your man,
Mm-hmm.
and then to walk around in his face naked.
Yes.
So
Happens all the time.
so either
crazy.
either you want to fuck or you want to fight.
I'm saying, like, I would have told her square up, squabble up. Like, what's up? I would have handed you a pair of gloves and said, meet me outside in the backyard in 10 minutes. Cause what is this?
What is this?
What trickery is this?
No, I do not condone domestic violence. Y'all don't take this
Me
the wrong way.
neither,
I'm
me
not saying for
neither,
anybody
not
to
at
go
all.
hit anybody.
It's like
No,
what
I'm not
she
saying
said.
that. But it's
Not
just
at all.
like
No domestic violence.
So-
at all.
it's just it's just like okay, so
It's
So
just
let's deepen it a little bit. Let's deepen the conversation a little bit. How do you explain to somebody, man or woman, right, the entitlement of what they're expecting? You get what I mean? Like, on the man's part, how do you get to expect, a level of sex that you never even met from somebody you never met before? And the woman, how do you expect to just be lounging around another man's house?
I think that's the whole part about this day and age and the social media. People forget that we actually have to take the time to get to know each other.
Yeah.
And so when you do that, when you talk to somebody every day for 2 months, you're going to eventually figure out whether or not they're sexually attracted to you.
Right.
And by the time you guys talk to each other every day for about 2 or 3 months, you're going to know what their favorite color is. You're going to know what they like to eat for breakfast. You're going to know what they like to eat for dinner. And you're going to know if they annoy you or not. You're going to know if you're still turned on or if you just, the body yada yada was given. You're going to know. And so it's at that point that you can make a decision as a grown individual and you guys will either part ways naturally, because that's what happens when you actually take the time to get to know somebody. You get to know whether or not you want to know them or not. And then you make a choice.
Right.
And so if y'all make that choice, then y'all proceed however you want to proceed, and it will be natural and nobody will even have to talk about it because it's time.
Right.
Y'all been waiting.
Yeah.
What's that?
Nowadays, they just skip that step.
Yeah, everybody just skip it. They be like,
Facts.
oh, you look like you got that. Yeah, let's see. Like, no,
Yeah,
for what?
like-
Because they might have that no. And
Yeah.
then, what?
You
And then
feel
you
me?
stuck with something like no.
Yeah.
Mm-mm,
They
it's not
definitely
worth
skip
it.
that skip. They just be what airport I'm flying into and how much you spending on this weekend and we gotta go to this restaurant and this and that, and they just skip the whole the whole humanity part of it.
Yeah,
Like,
a lot of people don't know how to date. I'm learning too.
Yeah, a lot of people
date
at all.
They date one person.
Everything is transactional. A lot of people jump from one relationship to another. They don't give anything a chance to breathe. Nobody, like you said, dates anymore before choosing a partner. They just stick with the one person they know, and then whoever they come across next, they go with that one.
But I'm also tired of being a meal ticket. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm tired of that.
I completely understand that, but see, that's where it comes in.
Come healed.
This is my thing. If you can't talk to somebody for a week before you go on a date, you don't need to talk to them.
Right.
See what I'm saying? Like, if you meet a girl and the first thing she says is, "We going out to eat."
I'm guilty.
Like, no, really. If you meet a girl and the first thing she says, "We going out to eat," she hungry.
Hormone don't feed it.
Okay?
I mean,
not saying that there's anything wrong with that, but it is what it is. So if she still wants to go out to eat with you next week, then she might actually be interested in you, and she's not just concerned about the plate.
Yeah, she's not just hungry tonight. She might actually like you.
Okay. That's
So it's all with time. It just everything takes time. People try to skip past that a lot now. They be trying to skip and put 2 to 3 weeks in one day. It's not necessary.
Right. It gotta be lovers and friends, and niggas forget the friends part. You can't be friends with them. It ain't no way y'all gonna work as a relationship. See, you want it now.
I don't like that friendship. I don't like that in between.
But that's like vital. Like,
but you can't be anybody's lover if you can't be their friend. Because then if their feelings are hurt and they're not acting how you're used to, and you're not their friend, then you did the whole relationship. You're going to treat them like a stranger instead of showing affection and actually checking and seeing what's wrong with that person. You're going to be like, oh, well, you're not the girl who I fell in love with.
Only because I used to treat people like that, and I would get treated weird. I would get treated weird for that, yeah. Like, trying to be cool with the person after you break up. I got looked at like, oh, fucking weirdo. I was like, damn, that's weird. All right, I guess I'll...
I mean, it's kind of like a respect thing. Like, you don't got to tell everybody you part ways with, like, oh, fuck you, nigga. You gonna die in the grave. But, like, don't be texting them at, like, 10 o'clock at night when you with your significant other and you have moved on past that. I get that part, but you ain't got to, like, be enemies with the person. You know, you can still just have respectful, like, you know.
Everybody I break up with.
So is it? Yeah, nah, that was crazy.
Oh, man.
So if you beef with everybody.
Oh, I'm an Aries, my fault. I want to smoke forever.
Oh, I was finna say, so if you beef with everybody, is it them or is it you?
Probably me. It's a little bit of both. Wait, it takes two to tango.
Nah, my boy.
In the conversation, he's an Aries.
Nah, my boy. Nah, it might take 2 to tango, but who doing the most stepping on feet?
I'm gonna walk hard. I ain't
Oh,
hold you.
damn.
I'm gonna walk hard. And I'm gonna hold my nuts the whole time.
Oh, damn.
I can't help it.
Nah, man.
Especially when I feel disrespected.
Nah, man. See, you gotta be the bigger person, you know? Oh, you toxic. You toxic. Valid.
Oh, yeah, it's like that.
Toxicity. Nah, man.
No, I can't lie. I will consider myself toxic too. I'm not gonna lie, because I'm going through that phase now where I'm practicing what I'm preaching about dating.
Yeah.
And a lot of dudes are not appreciative of how honest I am about it. Because I'm gonna tell you, yeah, like I'm talking to 3 guys right now. And in their heads, they mean, and to them that means that I'm having sex with 3 guys right now. I'm not having sex with none of y'all. You know what I'm saying? But automatically it puts in their head that there's competition and they're not sure if they're willing to deal with it. You see what I'm saying?
I mean,
as opposed to just taking it for what it is and getting to know me. Because in a week or two, it could be one.
Right.
By the end of this day, it could be one.
Right.
Because, like I said, we're taking the time to get to know each other.
I mean, not necessarily.
I think those variables apply to sex too. Like
with the amount of people.
Yeah, I mean,
wait a minute.
Man, I know girls that can go. Those variables apply. Like if anything can happen, anything can happen. You know what I'm saying? Those 3 people. Same way she said, one person can go, or it could be down to one person. Oh, my bad. Oh, okay.
We taking. Yeah, that was crazy. What he just said. Commercial break. That's what we're doing. All right, so we gonna commercial break it. We back from Back from the commercial. I feel like the 85 social now. You know, they be having like commercial
Yeah.
breaks and stuff.
Check. 3. Check. Can I hear you, Toshi?
Test. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2.
Check.
1 2 1 2. 1 2 1 2.
Can I hear you?
Yeah.
Check. You know,
Mic check 1 2. Yeah.
We already.
Sound good?
Check.
Cool. Sounds off. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Constructive criticism is great.
Yeah, what she said, the camera was on like 20?
Yeah, I think so.
Shit, we got about 15 minutes.
Yeah, so I was saying did you already hit record?
Yes, we are recording. We're live.
Back from the commercial.
Did I say
break.
something wild? Was that wild?
You were saying
that
wild
was
stuff.
wild?
I had said something about dating 2 or 3 people, like talking to 2 or 3 people, and you were like, it could be the same about having sex with 2 or 3 people.
It could be.
It just shut
Yeah.
down.
I'm saying the variables. I'm saying if two dudes can just leave, right? Like it could change like that. Then anything could change like that, right? No? Oh yeah, that's all.
You're right, but I feel like for me personally, I can't speak for anybody else, but I think it's levels to it. And so if I know I'm dating and I'm like just talking to people, then that means that I'm allowed to do, to talk to more than one person. But once I choose somebody who I'm personally intimate with, for me as a woman, I'm cool. Like everybody else is pretty much null and void.
Yeah.
Whether this person and I have established a relationship or a title or not, at which point I become intimate with somebody, I mentally belong to them. And so it does not even allow me to talk to other people anymore, whether I try to or not.
Yeah.
I cannot speak for anybody else.
You want to weigh in on the men's side of that, or you think it's the same thing?
It just, for women, man, I get a lot of different answers from women. I mean, you go ahead and give your thoughts because she right for as it pertains to her.
I
she
mean,
right.
I cannot speak for anybody else because I have friends who they don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Yeah.
call me like, I need some dick right now, and I think I'm about to go call so and so. And
That's
I'm like, wait, but you just saw.
That's what I'm used to.
The
other day, what about same day? What do you mean? Like same
Oh,
day?
same day
They be like same day. What do you mean?
I be like, so you're not gonna go see other buddy from the other day? Like, no, I need some new. Yeah.
Right.
That new.
Right.
So that's how you operate same day hits. Like
No, I don't. I mean, I have.
I feel like
But I don't do that frequently. Like it's not as consistent as you would think. It happens like maybe once or twice.
Okay.
Once or
But I
twice.
feel like it's
most niggas
different
have done
for
that.
Men and women, like
Right.
men, y'all are penetrating something. Women, we are being penetrated. Like
Is that really?
I feel like that makes a difference. I
Okay.
think that some women have the mentality or have been through certain things to where they don't see it or feel it that way.
Mm-hmm.
But generally speaking, I just feel as though women are more sensitive to who they're intimate with.
Yeah, I've definitely heard that a lot. Like women are more like once they get intimate with a person to that level, it's kind of like that's their person.
I even find
And
that
I've been trapped like that.
That ain't been my experience.
I've been trapped like that a bunch of times. Like
a woman will make you feel like
yeah,
a contract
like
you signed it
you guys
without
are
knowing.
together
Yeah, like-
because y'all had sex.
yeah, like that wasn't even the terms of agreement beforehand. But now that something
Now
that
you
went
say
down,
it.
it's like so what are we?
Yeah.
What do you
Yeah.
mean? What are we?
I've had both experiences.
Humans?
Like
What do you
the
mean,
girl
what
trying to treat me like the bitch,
You-
and you signing a contract that you didn't know you were signing up for.
Yeah, and that just goes back to your point of just laying everything on the table, like before.
But that also
Take
can
the
do
time
up.
with yourself to understand who you are and what it is that you're looking for, so that way when you come across other people,
Yeah.
y'all can just see if it's gonna work or see if it's not.
Yeah.
It's either gonna work or it's not.
Yeah. A lot of niggas be lying though. A lot of niggas be lying to get in
A lot
that.
of
Get in that.
people be lying.
A lot of
but they
people be
lie
lying.
because
People.
they didn't take that time to themselves. You have to
Yeah,
figure out what you
yeah.
actually want first.
Right.
Even down to what we were just saying about the women, how some women will say, "Oh, this, that, and the third. I might talk to this guy or go mess with that guy." But genuinely speaking, I know a lot of women who are like that because they've been hurt.
Right.
And so they really are like, oh, I want to go to my dude right now, but he hurt me, so I'm about to go talk to 4 other guys.
Yeah, that's definitely trauma response. Get even, get back type of thing.
How you even get
But I
somebody to
always
see
say
that?
big girls don't cheat; they get even.
Yeah.
Damn. What that mean? Go get married?
Like, yeah, what you mean? So if you're not...
Oh, no, but these girls don't cheat. They get even. So that means whatever you have going on, I got it on. And I'm not talking about, oh, I'm going outside, I'm going to go talk to guys. I mean, what your pockets looking like? Watch me match you.
Ooh, a lot of niggas can't take that.
Hell no.
A lot of men can't handle that type of, you feel me? That type of confrontation.
Not at all.
From that
Because
side.
once I put my pockets on the level of yours, you can't just do.
I can't just do what I want. Yeah.
So now what?
The power now is
Big girls don't cheat; they get even.
Shit. I'll probably be okay with that.
That's fly. I like that. I like that for sure. Definitely get even.
That I wrote. It's one verse.
Really?
But yeah.
Oh, you're an artist. I'm an artist too. You know, I make music.
I'm not an artist anymore. I used to be. I'm more so a writer now.
Yeah,
I write
feel
music. I manage an artist, and then I'm starting to do like artist development.
Oh,
Let's
start a record label. Maybe.
My friend has a label, and I'm working with her with some of her artists doing artist development. Just dibbling, dabbling.
What do they call that? What's that called? Not just a manager, but it's like
A&R.
Yeah,
there we go,
yeah.
A&R. I thought that shit was dead.
Crazy because I make music and I've been looking for like
What kind of music you make?
Whatever. I would categorize it as kind of like conscious rap.
Okay.
And I also sing too, so like I be doing like the R&B. I like to get around though because I listen to a lot of different things. So I eventually plan to make like rock songs, but really I would say mainly when I sing it's like R&B. I may do like a little pop mix in there, but you know, just
that alternative type of style.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
little alternative R&B whatnot. But yeah, that's just for the most part. Like artists, I would have to say I'm most like would probably be like J. Cole.
Isaiah Rashad type shit.
Yeah, Isaiah Rashad. I don't know. I don't think I'm like any singer really, but
Okay.
just
I fuck with Anderson .Paak because he do both.
Yeah, Pac. Yeah, I fuck with Pac. I've listened to Pac over here. I fuck with Pac for sure. That's like if I
all types of music. I vibe with everything. I was in a go-go band at one point.
Hey,
so
sure.
I do that. We were doing live covers, and then even still, you know, I've done some hotel singing where you just doing covers sitting up there.
So I always wanted to do that with my little guitar, you know, just get up.
Play guitar too?
I play a little guitar.
Yeah. I wish I could sing. I barely can. I mean, I rap a little bit, but y'all talented. That's what's up.
Yeah, for sure.
But you know what? It takes talented people to make a hit. A real hit that'll play on the radio like it used to for a year. That's what it takes. It takes a group of people.
Yeah, I was gonna say because a lot of these like hits nowadays that people like, they're not real hits. They just like big for the moment or whatnot.
Yeah.
It's not a hit if it's not on the radio for a year.
Yeah, like
Okay, facts.
and a lot of the,
how many times did you? I know you see me on the radio. True, we listened to
Timeless.
That
You
song for
talking about
2
timeless
years.
music?
We listened to that song for 2 years, like it had just came out.
So Roddy Ricch, The Box, was that a hit?
That was a hit.
yeah, that was a hit.
No question.
That was a hit for sure.
That's no question.
Okay,
For sure.
What's that
Now,
song?
if you name any of them, Pump Smoke Lil Perk.
No.
Pump Smoke Little Perks, Glorilla.
You know what I'm saying?
Glorilla.
Those were not hit. No, Glorilla got a hit.
That's a hit.
That's a hit.
Yeah. Fuck
Nah,
Nigga
they
Free.
finna play that every summer for sure.
Yeah, facts.
That's a hit.
FNF
Now,
is a hit.
Once she
Tucci Slide. Was that a hit?
what's the Tucci song?
Tucci Slide.
The left
Drake,
foot
yeah.
up. I don't know about that one, bro.
Tucci Slide. Sorry, Tucci Slide. That was it. Okay.
First of all,
I don't like it. I'm just asking.
I don't like when Drake tries to be, not tries, because I can't speak to what he is or what he is not. And he really is truly in his right, a gangster, and that's who he wants to be. But I just don't like when he raps about gangster stuff. I really don't like when Drake raps about gangster.
Why? Is it because he's light skinned?
No, it's not. It's not because.
It's because he's from Canada.
It's because he's from Canada, mate.
Because he's from Canada.
It's not because he's light skinned. It's not because he's from Canada. It's just that anything that you can have done at this point is not necessarily you, and it's only your dollars. And you've never physically, to the best of my knowledge, physically done anything to back these things up. So it's not stuff that we should be talking about.
Okay.
You know, if your money is going to be something that's going to put a hit out on somebody, you definitely shouldn't be talking about it because then there's a trail.
That's true.
Yeah, definitely.
That's true.
You know,
That's how niggas get hit with that Rico.
Yep, facts. Facts.
That's how niggas get hit with that
I'm not
Rico.
going to talk about it on the podcast, but I know I am. You know how you just put stuff together. You know, how these rappers talk. Drake has already indicted himself in Rico, and he doesn't even understand what he does if you really listen to him. And Nicki Minaj has done the same.
That's
thing.
why Dirk songs recently he be like, all this shit is cap. This is not real.
He said he stopped about that shit.
Yeah,
he stopped talking about that shit.
You finna
Baby too.
You know,
Little
right?
Baby too.
Yeah.
On the videos, what they say, all of these items are props.
Yeah,
Lil Baby is untouched. Can you believe that? That close to Thug and untouched. That's
Shit,
crazy.
I heard they working on one
But
for him too.
I was told that was done on purpose. I was told that Thug didn't sign Baby on purpose, Lil Baby on purpose.
Yeah.
That's why he had somebody else sign him, so
Yeah.
that he wasn't necessarily affiliated with that for that particular reason.
Guess he ain't give a fuck
I
about
don't know if
Gunna.
you want to say it. I don't know if you want to be saying that out loud. They might come get your ass next. You know what I'm talking about? You know too much.
I ain't got shit on me. I ain't got shit on me.
No. I'm fine with that. I
Yeah.
don't care
Y'all
about
niggas
that,
know too
but
much.
what I was about to say about Nicki Minaj, I will never say
What she?
like on tape.
What she do?
I would never say like.
We got.
on tape.
I want to know. You got to tell me. You got to tell me about it.
What she do?
I'll
Cause what you know, Nicki
Okay.
personally, like how did you get
But
this
you
information?
have to,
Who did you work
listen? They say it. Like, you know how we talk about these internet rappers and everything? Nobody pays Nicki Minaj and Drake any attention because we don't think of them as gangsters.
I
And we
thought.
don't think that they would do anything that they talking about, but they literally would tell you what they're doing in their music. They tell you literally that
That's
something
true,
will
that's
happen,
true.
and the day after they was like, "Oh, let's drop this song and let everybody know what I just did."
Yeah,
Which
what'd
I
he
don't pay
say?
any attention because it's
Yeah.
Nicki Minaj and it's
Nah,
Drake.
that's facts. That's facts.
Like,
What he say? I'm mobbed. He
Yeah.
said I'm sick of these niggas. Hide some help.
Got some help.
get
Get
rid
rid
of
of
Get rid of these
these
niggas.
niggas. It's coming.
I thought you was talking about X when he said that, bro. I was listening too
Lord,
deep,
man.
bro.
Hey man. Hey,
All right, you right.
No,
you
don't
right.
say too
Don't say
much. They
too
might
much.
be
Got
at
you.
your door
My
tonight.
fault. My
you know?
fault. My fault.
Drake
You
might
right.
be at your door tonight playing that new album.
saying. Drake outside your front door.
Drake outside your front door playing that new album. You know.
That's crazy. That would be crazy.
Wanted me to cry when he be playing that
That
motherfucker.
would be crazy, bro. Right. In all black.
And all
That'd be
black.
crazy.
Talking about,
Left foot up.
No. Oh, you was talking. You talking shit about. That's
he
crazy.
be outside your shit. You know how sticky it get.
Oh, my
So you
God.
talking about, nigga. Don't say too much.
So y'all think hip hop about to change again?
I needed to. God
Yes.
damn.
Right, bruh.
Yes, hip hop is about to change, and it's Beyonce's fault. Does that sound crazy?
Beyonce fault?
Wait a
We
minute.
blame Beyonce?
Yes.
Why we blaming Bae?
We blame him because, first of all, who's rapping right now? Who's in charge of the rap game? The women, right? The women are running the rap scene right now, right?
I thought drill was.
Who's running that right now? Asian dog?
Asians, yeah. Asian dog? Nah.
Asian dog.
Asians, maybe. UK Asians.
As far as where the money is being placed
All right, women.
for
Women, bro.
hip hop,
Yeah,
you know,
I was
not
right.
necessarily what we may be listening to this and the third, but where the money is being placed right now,
Women.
is being placed behind women, right?
Okay, facts.
Okay. Now, what do women listen to? What
Uh,
do we listen to? Go ahead,
True.
say it.
Lana Del Rey
Us,
tried to.
Beyonce.
Beyonce.
Yeah, Drake.
Shit, you'll get jumped by Beyonce fans
Summer
for
Walker.
saying
Yeah, fact.
Beyonce is not
Right.
good.
Now, Beyonce just dropped a whole album.
Hmm.
Catered to dance hall.
Exactly.
Yeah, like house music.
Sound good though. I like it.
It's great. But do you know how many of these rap girls is about to try
Everything.
to rap
Damn.
like they're in Saint Tropez?
No.
I actually heard a song by I think Lotto just did a song where it kind of got like a dance hall vibe on it.
That's
I
the
think
new
I
thing
just
now?
seen it. I think I don't know.
So, she's about to make all of these girls go pop.
Me too.
And in my personal opinion, it's going to be a couple of those girls that go pop, and then it's probably going to be like a
Well, yeah.
Doja Cat or somebody that
Doja.
ends up rapping. Because Doja Cat is kind of like pop right
I'm
now.
gonna say she
right?
already
She's
pop.
a great rapper.
Lot-
She's a great rapper.
Ever
She's a great
since
lyricist.
Lotto had dropped that little pop song, the little y'all know what I'm talking about.
I know you're talking about. I know you're talking about.
Carey. That one?
Nah,
Which
it's
pop
that.
It's sampled
is that one
Mariah
with-
Carey,
Is that
though. I
one
know
with
you're
Mariah
talking
Carey? I don't know.
Yeah,
the beat. I
It's
just know the
sampled her
lyrics.
song. I know what you're talking about. I know exactly what y'all talking about. Y'all talking about the same song.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Y'all
That
talking about the
song.
same song, yeah.
She's starting to transition more into that pop side too, like from
I
that
fuck
song.
with it, though.
Like ever since that song, like it's just been like the
That's the
vibe.
next thing to do as a female artist. Like what Nicki said, she gave the pink print, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you pay attention to what these girls are doing, they're doing what Nicki did. Okay, let's go viral talking about sex.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them. She's a very freaky girl.
Mm-hmm.
Nicki's.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? Okay, now let's go pop.
Oh, this is the blueprint. For the,
This is the pink print. Let's go.
True,
Let's
true.
go pop. Now it's time to go pop. We got to catch that other side. We have to be able to catch all of these people.
Yeah.
And then maybe 5 or 6 years down the line, they'll come back and they'll start rapping again. But all of our favorite female rappers are about to become pop artists, and it's so sad because there's so many of them that came out at the same time that it's going to happen at the same time, and we're not even like it's going to change the tone of music instead of just those artists going through
Yeah,
their
instead of
phases.
Instead of just being like, oh, he doing something different, it's gonna be like, damn, the whole game is just crazy.
So, do you remember what Lana Del Rey said?
What did she say?
What she said on Instagram about
I love Lana Del Rey.
You do? Mm-hmm. Do you agree with her Instagram post where she spoke up about how black women perceive black women music and how they intake it, how it perpetuates all the things that we say we don't want? She made a post about that, but she kind of name dropped Beyonce. She was saying, like, how come, Beyonce and all these other women who kind of glorified singing about sex and domestic violence and drugs and all this other shit, right?
Uh-huh.
How come they're heavily glamorized, they get, sold out shows and shit like that, but her music kind of lacking a little bit.
Right.
Now, she wasn't necessarily saying that, but that's kind of how it came off.
No, and I see what she's saying because I like her music, and a lot of people call me crazy for listening to her music because of the type of things that she says. She says, my old man is a bad man, and she will talk about it the same way, like, oh, I got a trick ass dude at home.
Yeah, it's the same message,
the
just
same
a different.
thing. Yeah. She's just singing it slowly, and so it's it's not the type of sound that we're used to, but she's saying the same stuff.
Yeah, because
so I definitely understand where she's coming from.
What's the song? Like any of them City Girl songs you hear, they was like, y'all tripping about the City Girl saying all this when we got like Rain on Me and all that, but like the old artists, when they saying the same thing, shit. It's just the way that they say it, it's just nice to the ears, and you missing it, you kind of miss that raunchiness.
In the music since the 80s, y'all know that song, Mr. Sandman.
Yeah.
Bring Me a Dream. So the people who sing that song, they're called the Cordettes. It's a group of 5 sisters. Okay, Jackson 5, female version before them. Okay. They got a song called Never on a Sunday.
Lord.
Oh.
So you could kiss me on a Monday, a Tuesday, a Wednesday. It's very, very good.
I heard that song before.
I've never
Or
heard
you
it.
could kiss me on a hot day, a cold day, a slow day. I really wish you would.
Damn.
They been at it.
They was also
They sing that. You know what other song they sing? Lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, lolly, lolly.
Yeah.
Lollipop. We know what they talking about.
Hey man, they not slick. We catching on.
They was on their shit. Yeah,
Like,
catching on.
They've been doing this.
But it's who can be the raunchiest now, Who can?
It's about how you present it.
Yeah.
Who can be
It's really about how you present it.
Yeah.
Because
Raunchy.
Meg was being raunchy. She was being raunchy before people picked up on her.
Yeah,
I noticed. I was a big Meg fan before anybody knew who she was.
Really?
When people started paying her some attention, when she got on stage and she busted wide open. Right at the Fillmore was the first time she ever did it.
That'll get you noticed.
I was right there.
Word?
Yeah, right at the Fillmore. When she had a pole dancer. Everybody was like, why did Wale do this song with this grown ass man?
Oh.
She said, she has a deep voice. Everybody's like, why did this song?
I was saying the
And
same
I'm
thing.
fighting
She
for her.
right. She
I'm like,
right.
This is a girl. This is that. Nobody was trying to hear Meg. She came to the Fillmore, y'all. Light Skin Keisha got on stage first.
Love Light Skin
And
Keisha.
she pulled, she did her thing. She pulled everybody out. And I feel like Meg took some tips from her. Not saying she, you know what I'm saying? But it is what it is.
You learn from
You're a
her.
woman and you're on tour. You're picking up.
Yeah.
Meg got out there. She did her thing. She got down, showed us her begging knees, and it was that. She went viral. She literally went viral.
She's right. That's absolutely accurate. Yeah. I didn't give a fuck about her verse until I knew she.
Until niggas, oh, that's what the knees look like. Okay.
Then she dropped Big Old Freak.
Yeah. Damn.
This is deep.
Yeah.
I'm finna be silent the whole car ride home.
Just thinking about this shit, right?
No, really.
How much? Did the camera die yet?
I think so. I don't see a light.
Camera didn't die.
What?
We on?
It's about to though.
What we on?
He got
It's
all that.
flashing red.
Yeah, it's just red.
Sweet, but it got all
All
that.
right, yeah. Okay, we can go ahead and end it here. We got a two special guests on this episode. I forgot to introduce y'all, so if y'all could, just plug yourselves.
Okay, my name is Karma. Nice to meet you guys. Sorry he didn't plug y'all earlier. I am a little bit of everything right now. I am your producer, okay? I am your mobile phlebotomist, and I am the hostess with the mostest because I got the opinions.
Okay.
I am Sway. I do know.
Okay.
It's your boy Toshi. Also doing a little bit of everything. Featured on my first podcast as a Mike B. But I have my own podcast, you know what I'm saying? Toshi Space Pod, all platforms, you feel me? Spotify, Apple, not SoundCloud, but you can definitely catch me on Google Podcasts as well.
I need to get on that.
Yeah. I can show you how to set that shit up too. If you want.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, well, yeah, we definitely appreciate you guys coming on to the podcast, giving us some insight on the topics, man. We can go ahead and end it here. Appreciate everybody. It's a secret episode. If you got this far in the video, you a real one, man. Catch us in next week on the Trouble Next Door podcast.
Should put it on Patreon.